If they running their mouth, then they looking for trouble. Ran right up in the knowledge, now they back in the huddle. See, they know we can fight. New content every week. Me and Dr. Clyde keep on bringing the heat. Now they know they were driven, and they know we ain't quitting. Yoshi and the winner, keep on bringing the energy. Unity. See, they know we ain't stopping, and they know they got problems, and they ran out of options. If they know we got a problem, can't let it go unsolved. Bring back learning, Afrocentric history, we see tomorrow. Karma's karma, I say what I say, I hear underwater. Till I see I fall off, then I bring y'all up on note. I'm back up on my Clyde winners, 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 divine winters, Clyde winters, mind bender, Clyde winters, I'm Richard, ride with ya, master teacher, create masters, Clyde winters, give respect to the elder, Clyde winters, I somebody else that living for me. I told you somebody else that looking for me. I think there's somebody else that looking for me. I think there's somebody else that looking for me.
We have to live by heart. We have to live by heart. I have not done wrong. I have not robbed. I have not stolen. I have not drank. I have not told lies. I have not stolen. I was not stolen. I have not fornicated with the fornicator. I have not caused anyone to weep. I have not dissembled. I have not transgressed. I have not discussed secrets. I have brought no lawsuits. I am not wrong. I am not struck kill. I am not transgressed the law. I have not been hunted. Except when I'm talking about on the song. I have not made extolling. I have not bragged. I have not cursed. I have not been violent. I have not confounded truth. I have not been impatient. I have not cursed against.
Dr. Winter's legacy is a testament to the power of knowledge and the unyielding spirit of exploration. His impact is felt worldwide, as he shares and enlightens at conferences, symposiums, and collaborative projects. His voice is a beacon in the academic world, challenging, inspiring, and always educating. His journey reminds us that the quest for knowledge is never-ending, and its impact is timeless. Dr. Winters teaches us to challenge the narratives and to learn with an open mind. As he always says, B1 is not a group, it's a lineage. Let his story inspire everybody to pursue knowledge relentlessly and to always seek the truth. Now let us welcome in the grandfather of research, the Trill OG himself, the Honorable Dr. Clyde Winter.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Hey, I'm glad to see everybody here today because, you know, today is a wonderful day. Why is it a wonderful day? Well, first of all, I woke up. That's important. That's very important. Unless you wake up, you're not going to have a wonderful day. Yes, I put in the chat that we are the result of an ethnogenesis. That's right. We're the result of an ethnogenesis. As a result, in the sense of Aboriginal blacks, Black Europeans, and Sub-Saharan Africans, we in a sense went through an ethnogenesis, and as a result of this mixture, we became foundational Black Americans. Don't forget that. I am FBA all the way. I am a foundational Black American, and I'm proud of being a foundational Black American. And what makes me so proud of being a foundational Black American is that we come from this unique genetic line. This genetic line that have made us, I want to say it, this unique genetic line has made us the new Egyptians. Yes, yes, yes. We're the most important that existed in history, except for the Egyptians. Yes, because we influence everybody. Everybody's practicing our culture. Yes, our music, our foods, our clothing. You see this everywhere because everybody wants to be FBA. They may hate us. They may not be able to stand us. They may not want us to be able, in a sense, to be respected. And yet we are respected. We're the most respected people on the planet because of the fact, in a sense, that we have this unique experience. And I'm so happy to be an FBA because of the fact is that I was granted a great ability. I prayed to God back when I was 10 years old. I said, God, I want to be the greatest Black historian that ever existed on the planet Earth. I wanted to be that person, in a sense, who was the first to discover things that were unique to our culture, unique to our history. You see, and that made me want to become a researcher. Yes, yes, yes. I wanted to become a researcher. And the reason I wanted to become a researcher is that it's by being a researcher that we can do everything that we have to do that allows us to be great.
Oh, no, no. Spent years studying the times. Let the researcher do the research. Yeah, yeah. Black first, with strength we rise. Yeah. Let the researcher do the research. Yeah, yeah. Unite in truth and kill the lies. Let the researcher do the research. I'll learn to debunk my own craft. Respect is all that I have. Dr. Witness. I was sent here to finish my task, to become the greatest researcher, and that's who I am. Dr. Witness. Yeah. Na 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 na. Let the researcher do the research. Don't get a kick out of telling lies. Let the researcher do the research. Yeah, yeah. Spent years studying the tides. Let the researcher do the research. Yeah, yeah. Black first, with strength we rise. Let the researcher do the research. Yeah, yeah. Unite in truth and kill the lies. Be one, be one, be one, be one to win this fight. We must unite. Stand up for the righteous and let your skin shine bright. Be one, be one, be one. Be one, lessons whispered at night.
Yes, let the researcher do the research. Yes, 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 because see, we have to let the researcher do the research because it's only by doing this research that we can be able, in a sense, to be able to bring to you this knowledge and bring to you this power. How you doing, Zachary Holmes? You know, and I'm very happy in a sense. That video was done by Yoshima the Genius, and I think it's a cool little video. It's a cool little song, and I love it because the fact, in the sense, is that it allows us to think about some of my experiences as a researcher. Yes, yes, it's very important in the sense that we do research. And it's only through doing research that we're going to be able to share with you knowledge, because see, knowledge is important because it's through knowledge. Yes, yes, it's through knowledge that we will know and understand the truth. Today, we're going to talk about the Mande origin of the Olmecs and their calendar. And I think this is a very interesting topic because we often talk about the Olmecs, the big heads, and we talk about, in a sense, some of their ingenuity and their civilization. But many people don't understand that the Olmecs, in a sense, although they were living in Africa, in the Americas, down in Mexico, the Olmec, they came directly from Africa. Most people assume that the Olmecs were related to the Egyptian people. No, no, the Olmecs were not related to the Egyptian people. The Olmec, in a sense, are the result of Mandingo people who early migrated to the United States. And what I'm going to talk about today is some evidence of this Mande origin of the Olmec. And the best evidence for this Mande origin of the Olmec is found when we look at, in a sense, when we look at their calendar. Yes, yes, yes. The Olmec calendar is very important in terms of allowing us to understand, this culture. You can go to my Patreon to see the slides. Once I do this presentation, I'm going to put my slides on my Patreon. Please join my Patreon because it's through my Patreon that I'm allowed, in a sense, to have the monies to be able to get the articles and the latest books and the latest material to make these presentations every Thursday. Yes, these presentations that I do every Thursday are the result of the support from my Patreon, because it's from my Patreon, in a sense, that I have the monies to buy the books and new latest materials and things like that. You can find me at Twitter at Dr. Clyde Winters 8. Also, you can find me, in a sense, on TikTok, and many videos on TikTok relate to my research, and these have been put up there by numerous people, especially Yoshima the Genius. Yes, Yoshima the Genius out of Houston has put a whole bunch of videos on my research, on my research techniques and things like that. You're going to find them on TikTok. My Twitter is at Dr. Clyde Winters 8. Again, in a sense, you're on my YouTube channel now. And on my YouTube channel, this is where you can find over 400 videos on every aspect. Yes, not just one, not just two, but on every aspect of the history of Black people around the world. You can order my books on Amazon.com. Some of my books that relate to Black people in ancient America include Atlantis and Mexico, African Empires in Ancient America, We Are Not Just Africans, Ancient Scripts in South America. All these books, in a sense, are related to our existence, our history in the New World. Also, in a sense, one of my latest books is the Mande and the Ancient Americas. This book is going to tell you about all the various Mande groups. Yes, the Mande-speaking people who played an important role in the rise of culture over here. And also get my book, The Black Mound Builders of America. If you want to find out more about what we're going to talk about today, get these books: Atlantis and Mexico, African Empires in Ancient America, We Are Not Just Africans, Ancient Scripts in South America, the Mande and the Ancient Americas, and the Black Mound Builders of the Americas. Get these books, learn your history, learn about who we are, learn about what we've contributed to the rise of civilization over here. What is FBA? I'm an FBA, so I'll tell you what FBA is. FBA is not a group. FBA is not an organization. FBA is a lineage. A lineage is lineal descent from an ancestor, ancestry or pedigree. As a result, yes. As a result, we are descendants of the African, Black Europeans, and Aboriginal Blacks who built these United States. Yes. We are the Aboriginal people. Yes. These truths we had to remember is that we made this country. During the Civil War, over 200,000 foundational Black Americans fought to free ourselves. No, the European did not free you. Do not believe that, El Meso. We freed ourselves. And we freed ourselves by fighting in the Civil War. Yes, 200,000 foundational Black Americans fought in the Civil War. You see, and that because of this experience, we can hold our heads up high. You see, we can hold our heads up high. We didn't wait just for some people to say, "Oh, you're free," or wait to be do some manumission or some other ish. We fought to free ourselves. And we continue to fight to make sure that we get justice and that we can, in a sense, find and be treated fairly in this country, you see. But you have to understand that FBA culture is American culture. The food, the music, yes, yes, yes. The tomatoes, the beans, the rice, all these things came from us. You know, and hot water cornbread. Yes, hot water cornbread and collard greens. Come on, baby. Give me some chicken and rice, baby. Yes, yes. Give me some red beans and rice. So, this is the root of our culture. This is our culture. This is what we gave to not just the Americas, but we gave this to the world. FBA historical truths that must be taught. FBA, we built America. After Europeans came, the Europeans could not do anything here. The technology is based on us. C.R. Patterson, he invented some of the earliest cars. Charles Drew, he was the American surgeon and professor who pioneered methods of starting blood plasma. Yes, yes, yes. He taught us how to be able to, in a sense, to make blood plasma. And this is very important because this is what saved a lot of people on the battlefield in the many wars that Europeans have taken us into. And then one of the most important things was done by, one of the most important inventions was done by Boykin. Yes, 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 yes. Boykin is one of the main inventors because one of the key electronic components used in all of today's electronic products, TVs, radios, computers, is the resistor. The resistor used today is based on the invention of an African American. Yes, 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 yes. His name was Otis Boykin. Mr. Boykin is the inventor of the resistor, a basic electrical component which can be found used in electrical equipment like microwave ovens, clocks, computers, radios, TVs. None of these products would be able to work without the use of Otis Boykin's resistor. See? All of these things, not just the light bulb, they always bring up the light bulb, they always bring up the telephone, but we've also, in a sense, contributed to the whole network that allow us to be able to teach you and allow you to understand the truth and the power of our, experience here in the United States, yes, and what makes the world operate. Marquis Dean, he's an American inventor and a computer engineer. He developed the ISA bits and he led a design team for making 1 gigabyte computer processor chips. Very important to understand. It was him making these processing chips that led to these modern chips that are running the computers today. Yes, yes, yes. These things were done by Black people. Don't let people tell you that FBA or Foundational Black Americans have not contributed to the culture. That Foundational Black Americans don't have a culture. Our culture is a world culture and not just the light bulb and the telephone. Everything we've been doing to make this thing true. Henry T. Thomas Sampson Jr., yes, this brother's very bad. He's the inventor of the cellular phone. Yes, yes. Henry Sampson from Jackson, Mississippi. He invented, in a sense, the cellular phone. You see, he was born in Mississippi. He attended Morehouse and transferred to Purdue. He received an MS in engineering from the University of California. He was awarded the MS in nuclear engineering from Illinois, my alma mater, baby. Fire up Illini. Sampson is the first African-American to receive a PhD in nuclear engineering. Yes, yes, yes. Look at what we're doing. Stop it. Stop letting these people tell you that you're good for nothing. Stop letting these people tell you that the only thing that we can do is rap. Stop it. Stop it. Stop letting people tell you that all we can do is rap and all we can do, in a sense, is just, wait for Europeans to give us things. That's a lie. It's all about, in a sense, us teaching the world. How you doing, Eve? How you doing, Lindy? What up, Crazy? Shadow Band, Brave Cold Water. What's up? What up, dude? Welcome, everybody. Thank you for showing up and being here to share with us this momentous occasion, which is about learning. Yes, about knowing who and what we are. No FBA historical truths that must be taught. You got to understand FBA economic independence has always been obstructed by a second frequency. Yes, Europeans have always been trying to hold us back. They burned down, Rosewood, the Rosewood massacre. We had the various wars between after World War One. A lot of black people after World War One came back, and then a lot of white people, in a sense, they wanted to have riots with us, and they wanted to try to take us over. But because of the fact that these brothers that fought in the war, they knew, in a sense, how to use weapons, and back in the day, they used to have real guns and ammunition at the armories in the cities. Yes, they had armories in the cities. And in these cities, in a sense, they could, black people were able to get these arms from these armories that had guns, and they were able, in a sense, to fight the white folks that came. And in fact, one of the reasons that they dropped a bomb on the brothers in Black Wall Street, in Tulsa, they dropped a bomb on the brothers in Tulsa because they had a machine gun. Yes. They had a machine gun. And because the brothers in Tulsa had a machine gun, those Europeans, those white folks could not, in a sense, invade Black Wall Street, you see. And so they got a plane and they dropped a bomb on them so they could knock out that machine gun. Remember, foundational Black Americans have always been about fighting for their right, fighting for our justice, trying to teach the world the truth about who and what we are. That is very important. B1 is acknowledging your Black African ancestry, not heritage. B1, Black first. B1, brilliant first. B1, Black and brilliant first. Yes, that's who we are. You got to be B1. A lot of people have wondered, in a sense, how do we start happening upon this whole idea of Black people in Americas? Before the European, well, hey, some of the scholars who've done that was David Imhotep, Dr. Ivan Van Serter, and myself, Dr. Clyde Winters. Yes. We have been the scholars who proved that the Olmecs were Africans. We've been the scholars, in a sense, who proved that it was African Black people over in the Americas before the European came. And see, this is not, in a sense, an individual effort of my own. It's an effort built upon the research of various Black men and Black women who've researched this topic, who've been able, in a sense, to prove and to show that we were, in a sense, the original builders of civilization in these Americas. Again, some of my books that I've written on ancient America include Atlantis and Mexico, African Empires in Ancient America, We Are Not Just Africans, Ancient Scripts in South America, the Mande in Ancient America, the Black Mound Builders of the Americas. Get these books, buy these books, learn who we are, learn how we got here, learn why American civilization is based upon models that we, in a sense, developed here, but some of them came from over there too. Because there's always been interaction, there's always been, in a sense, communication between Black people in the Americas and Black people in Africa. You see? We've been taught a history of lies, a history where we are the victims of white racism. These lies teach us that we are a people too weak to defend ourselves because of the natural superiority of the European race over the primitive African. That is a lie. See? They want to teach you that due to emotionalism, it makes it impossible for us to be able, in a sense, to build anything. They want to make you feel, in a sense, that the only way that Black people, in a sense, can really develop is under the guidance, the tutelage of the European, the tutelage of the Caucasian, the tutelage of second frequency, the tutelage of white men. No. This is history's greatest lies. We build, we create, you see. The Olmec were called She. They were descendants of the Mande people. Yes. The ancient Olmec people called themselves She. These Olmec people left us beautiful monuments. Most of these monuments, in a sense, were made in stone. This is very important. You think about this. Our ancestors understood that if they would have put everything just on paper, that paper wouldn't last. If they put everything on paper, That paper could be easily destroyed by fires. It could be destroyed by nature. It could be, in a sense, taken back into nature. If you fell on the ground, it'd be just absorbed and eventually it'll dissipate. But our ancestors, they left us records. They left us stories. And these stories of our greatness, they didn't just put them on paper, they put them in stone. And it's by looking at these stone artifacts, these stone monuments, these stone creations of our ancestors that we can find out about how they lived, how they progressed, and what they left posterity. Mande origin of the Olmecs. The Olmecs came from Saharan Africa. They spoke a Mande language. Evidence of this connection comes from the fact that both cultures, in a sense, used jade. Both cultures made tools out of jade, made masks out of jades. They made various artifacts, and these artifacts, in a sense, indicate that it was because of this ability to be engineers, to be architects, that these Mandes brought this over to the Americas. This does not mean that there were not already black people in the Americas. Don't get it twisted. There were already black people in the Americas, but it was the Mande who brought, in a sense, this cultural element that, in a sense, became the people who we call the Olmecs. I think it was also the Mande and maybe some later groups that even taught people, in a sense, how to build pyramids in the Americas. The Olmecs, in a sense, they came from Sahara Africa. They spoke a Mande language. The Olmec writing points back to a Mande origin in Africa. Olmec skeletons are of African people. The white and red and black pottery used by the Olmec, many of these styles came originally from Africa. You see, the introduction of the 13-month, 20-day calendar, it came from the Mandingo people. The Mayan adoption of the Mande term for writing also points back to this. So what we find, in a sense, is that the Mande people, not the black, not the Egyptians, no, not the Egyptians, no, not the Nubians, no. It was the Mande people. The Mande people who live in West Africa today, it was these people, in a sense, that founded the Olmec civilization. You can't base a relationship on phenotype alone. The Mande origin of the Olmecs in the Americas is based on writing, language, cultural features, and archaeological evidence. The key item linking the Mande and Olmec is the discovery through archaeological excavations of Mande writing at Olmec sites, and the mention by the Maya that they got writing from the Turushi. They left fragments of the Turushi language, which can be read as an aspect of Malinki Bambara, which was spoken by the Olmecs. Yes. See, the thing is that some people try to claim that, Dr. Winters, when he talks about the Olmec and people in Africa, the Mande and all that type of stuff, that Dr. Winters is using lookism. And what they mean by lookism is that if you look at the Olmec, look at this Olmec, you can see that he does not relate to some of the red Mayans. But you can see, in a sense, the Negroid features. You can see his African character. You can see the big lips. So we can see that this was, in a sense, an African, a black person, or what we would call a Negro. But the thing is this, that I don't just say that these people were specifically Negroid. I say that they were Mande. And the reason I can say that is because of the language, the culture, the artifacts that they left indicate to us that the Olmecs were Mande-speaking people. To understand the importance of the jaguar among the Olmec, you have to look at the Mande civilization. In Mande tradition, the first human beings were the blacksmiths and the female Musa Korani. The jaguar among the Olmec represent Muso Koroni, the leopard goddess of Mali. Yes. Muso Koroni, represented fertility, is represented by the multiple beasts of the leopard or the jaguar. On the left-hand side, you can see a leopard. Yes, we find the leopard in Africa, but we find, in a sense, his sister or brother, the jaguar in Mexico. You see how, in a sense, that in both these areas, we see these same animals, and that's why when the Mande came over to the Americas, they would have say, aha, I can relate the jaguar to our culture because we have that same animal or a similar animal over in Africa where we came from. Yes, yes, yes. It wasn't new to them. We can look at this is the Achama vase. Reading the signs in front of the black priest, we have Balam Ahau. Balam Ahau. Balam means jaguar, Ahau means Lord. So this is the jaguar Lord. The next group of glyphs we read, Tuni Nitu. The destiny of the ruler's soul is made superior. So in other words, the Balam Ahau, Tuni Nitu. You see, so the Balam Ahau, the jaguar Lord. Yes, yes. The destiny of the ruler's soul is made superior. Yes, yes, yes. I can read Olmec. And one of the things that allow me to read Olmec is that years ago I found a bilingual text. The bilingual text, and they said that the bilingual text was really a text talking about the end of the world. The Mayan, supposed to be a Mayan text that was talking about the end of the world in 2012, which was bullshit. It was, in a sense, it's a bilingual text. And this bilingual text written in a sense, Olmec and Mayan that allowed me, in a sense, to be able to read the Mayan writing and the Olmec writing. All the people, and what we find, in a sense, is that what they're trying to do is that we find that here we can see a picture. In this picture, you see these Olmec with the paddles. You can see their elaborate headdresses, and they were circumcising this guy. Yes, yes, yes. They were circumcising this particular person, and the reason that he was being circumcised is that is they wanted to get, in a sense, the wildness out of him. You see, according to our Mande tradition, all the people have this wildness given us by Muso Kurani. That was the female god or whatever. This wild part is called Wanzo, or the feminine force of chaos. Among males, the feminine is excised from males through circumcision. Yes, circumcision. Circumcision made the Mande Olmec male completely masculine. And that's why you can see in this relief from Chalcazingo, relief number 2 from Chalcazingo, you can see where, in a sense, one of the Olmecs was about to be, circumcised. And that was, in a sense, to get the wildness out of them, in a sense, to get rid of the femininity, to make this man all the way masculine, to make this man all powerful. Very important to understand this. You see? And so a lot of times, these people, some of the so-called Caucasian experts, they're trying to tell you that the Olmec religion was this or the Olmec religion was that. But no, when you look at the Olmec religion, and when in a sense that the Olmec are members of the Mande tribe, then all you have to do is you have to look at the pre-Islamic Mande religion, and you can understand what they were doing in their culture and what it was all about. We find, in a sense, that the African, the Olmec, and the mound builders all had these kneeling statues. Yes, yes, yes. Here are some of the kneeling statues that they found, in a sense, related to the Olmec culture. And we find, in a sense, similar statues with their arms on their knees in the middle that are found, in a sense, in Malay and Africa, and also found in the mounds. So we can see that this style, this whole idea of the hands on the knees is something, in a sense, that didn't, in a sense, just be found in the Americas, but it was a tradition, and our tradition that was also, in a sense, found among other kneeling statues. Yes, yes. There's this continuity. And see, you can't get away from this continuity. Yes, there's a unique culture over here, but at the same time, there's a continuity because there was always this interaction between Black people in the Americas and Black people in Africa. And because there was this interaction, there was always this exchange of civilization and this continuity, which they shared in terms of culture and religion. The Olmec language and literature, that's my book over there, tells the story of the Olmec language. In it, you will learn how we learned the name of the Olmecs and why we know that they call themselves she, because the name they claim for the people who gave them writing. Olmec language and literature is divided into 2 parts. In the first part of the book, the reader will learn how the Olmec writing system was deciphered, the She language, and how to read Olmec terms. In part two, I decipher and translate several She texts, and these Olmec texts include the Tushla statuette, the Levanta celts, the Mojarra Stela, the Olmec heads, and the Teal mask, to name a few. Get this book if you want to learn the Olmec language and their literature. Get this book if you want to know how to read the text and how I was able to decipher it. Olmec language and literature is easy to read and provide explicit, I repeat, explicit insight into the culture and religious practices of the Olmec people. Get this book, you see. Here we see in a sense an inscription, you see. On the left-hand side, we can see this inscription. Here we can see some of the ancient Mande people. You can see this goes back to the chariot times. This is very important because, see, we believe that the chariots and the horse goes back to at least 2000 BC. Yes, yes. That's 1,000 years before we see the appearance of the Olmec in Mexico. And if you look over there in that top left-hand corner, you can see some of the writing that these people left. Yes, yes. You can see some of the writing that these people left during the chariot period. You can see in a sense that the Mande already had this writing 1,000 years before the Olmecs came to the Americas. Yes. And what's really interesting is that now if you look at this cell, you see, here's a cell from Levanta, Mexico. And what you find in a sense is that the same signs on this inscription from Levanta are signs that we see in Africa. Yes, 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 yes. I keep trying to tell you, family. I keep trying to tell you that there is a relationship. Yes, family. Sadly, they want you to believe in a sense that there's no relationship. They don't want you to see that there is, in a sense, a continuity. Yes, there's a continuity, in a sense, between the B1, Black first in Africa, and Black first in the Americas. You see, even though, and so this what makes this very significant is that this shows you, in a sense, how the same signs found in Western Africa also appear among the Olmec people. The Olmec spoke a Mande language. You can see some of the words that we find, in many of the Indian languages. See, you have to, in a sense, to be able to read any ancient language. They always try to tell you how to use a proto-language, or you had to find, in a sense, but you do have to find a sister language. And what we find is that when we compare the Malinke-Bambara language to Quiche languages, we find in a sense that these languages share many common words, such as the word for heaven and sky, the word for many, the word for water, the word for fire. And in this list, you can see how the Mande language, which was spoken by the Olmec, agrees with many of the words found in modern Mayan languages. You see? Check out the slides. Join my Patreon. Check out the slides so you can see this, and you can really examine it in great detail, or you can just stop the video now, and then you can look at it and get some understanding. But again, in a sense, the relationship between the West African scripts and, in a sense, the Olmec writing shows their cognition, showed their relationship, and it was this relationship that allowed me to read these inscriptions. Another very interesting. Other very interesting, Olmec writing systems, go back to 900 BC, and they relate to the Common Era. For example, we have the Kaskayao block. This is the oldest writing system in the New World, and that's on the right-hand side. And then we have, in a sense, we have Epi-Olmec document that also, in a sense, shows the Olmecs who used the first long count signs. But as you can see, the Olmec was already had their writing, and this writing goes back to the Mande people who lived in West Africa, and they brought this writing over here. Here's some more examples of various This is some of the Mande writing. It was published by Leo Viner in his book Africa and the Discovery of America. And as you can see, many of these signs that are associated with this West African writing system are also found on many monuments in the Americas. Yes, yes, yes. And we also find these signs on the Olmec celts. You know, this Laventa celt is very interesting. This Laventa celt, what it does is that we have a series of celts, you know, behind this individual who's in the front of these celts. And this indicates that this individual is in the front of these celts, in a sense. He was, in a sense, a religious leader. The Olmec language is a member of the Mande family of languages. The Mande languages are spoken in West Africa. Mann and Dalby, 1987, give Mande peripheral status in the Niger-Congo superset. Olmec is closest to Malinke Bambara. The Olmec language has a high frequency of dissyllabic roots of the CV, that means consonant vowel type, consonant vowel, and consonant vowel kind. Monosyllabic roots of the consonant vowel kind often reflect the proto-form for many Olmec words. Yes, yes, yes. Check it out. Since we can decipher, I deciphered years ago, back in 1979, I deciphered the Laventa Celt, and it was an obituary for Kape, a leader of the Olmec community. On the on the left-hand side, you can see the Celts, and this is the inscription written on the Celts, and you can see these various Olmec dignitaries, and you can see them in a sense surrounding this guy in the middle, and this was Kape. And what it reads is this: without breath, void, consumed lies the holy pay. Below the family habitation, lay low the celebrity, the Lord in the hemisphere tomb. The great Kape in the back of the big hemisphere tomb possesses this place for posterity. Thine inheritance is fixed in this ground, you know. So again, as you can see, this is an obituary to this black leader. Yes, this Olmec leader, you see. But again, as I told you every week when we have these meetings, is that our ancestors, they left us records. They left us records. The European always says because he couldn't decipher it or because he didn't see a relationship between people in Africa and black people here. He can never, in a sense, show a relationship because he doesn't accept the continuity between African civilizations. That's why, in a sense, he always declares that this or that can't be read or this or that can't be deciphered because he feels if he can't decipher it, nobody can. And that's a lie. It's always out there, you know. You know, and so then we see, in a sense, again, we can see on the left-hand side, and if you look at this, you can see on the left-hand side, you can see the Tushla statuette. And this is very important, you know. The most important find of Leo Viner in his 1922 edition of They Came Before Columbus was the identification of Mande inscriptions on the Tushla statuette. That's the titular statuette, it's the duckbill figure. This is the Tushla statuette. Although Viner was unaware of the great age of the Tushla statuette, his correct identification of the African origin of the signs on the statuette helped us to decipher the Olmec script and lead to the determination that the Olmecs spoke a Mande language. Yes, yes, yes. The linguistic evidence suggests that around 1200 BC, when the Olmec arrived in the Gulf region of Mexico, a non-Mayan speaking group wedged itself between the Aztecs and the Maya, and this was the Mande people. And that's why, in a sense, if you look on the right-hand side, you can see how many of the signs on the Tushla statuette are also found on that wall in West Africa, where you find Mandingo inscriptions. Yes, yes, yes. There's continuity. The European will always say, Dr. Winters is trying to find a relationship between the Olmecs based upon Lookism. No, my research is not based upon Lookism. My research is based upon linguistic, archaeological, anthropological factors, and especially linguistic and epigraphic, evidence that shows this close relationship. Don't get it twisted. Olmec calendrics. Calendrics is the reckoning and recording of time over long periods, the creation and maintenance of a calendar. The mathematical system used by the Mesoamericans was invented by the Olmecs. This system comprised of dots and bars to denote different numerical figures. Most researchers believe the Olmec calendar was invented during the middle formative period of the Olmec, at the center of Levanta around 800 and 400 BC. The earliest Olmec dated monument goes back to 31 BC. Yes. They have an Olmec monument, this one. And this Olmec monument goes back to 31 BC. The low relief on this stone has 4-digit numerical recordings that read 15, 6, and now let's look at that. You can see it. The 15 is cut off. That's 3 bars. Then you can see the 6. See that dot and a bar. Then we can see 16. We see the dot and a dot and 3 bars. And then we can see 18, 3 dots and 3 bars. This vigesimal or base 20 counting system has been used across Mesoamerica. A value of 5 is represented by a bar, and a value of 1 is represented by a dot, such that the 3 bars and single dot here stands for 16. The date in this relief is the oldest recorded date in Mesoamerica, corresponding to a day in the year 31 BC. Theo Vine, an African discovery of America. Yes. This man was early aware of the relationship between the Mayan languages, the Aztec language, and the Mande languages. And this was an important finding. This was an important discovery. And because of Theo Vine's research, we're able, in a sense, to match the Mande relationship to the ancient Olmec. And this was given further evidence. Because I want you to understand that when I talk about a relationship between the Olmecs and the Mande people, I'm not basing this relationship on lookism. I'm not basing this relationship just on the fact that the Olmec look Negroid. I'm basing this on firm anthropological and linguistic evidence. Although Viner was unaware of the great, his correct identification of the statuette helped us to decipher the Olmec script and lead to the determination that the Olmec spoke a Mande language. The linguistic evidence suggests that around 1200 BC, when the Olmec arrived in the Gulf, they had, in a sense, this writing that they brought from Africa. The Mesoamerican long count date for this monument is March 162 CE, which is 862-417, which is the date is they believe. I also believe this is also not just a date, but also it's also information about the author of this, who this particular statue was written for. But again, this date down the front of the statue, which shows that it was made around March 162 of the Christian era. You see, they also, in a sense, had other things. We know that the calendar, yes, the calendar of the Mayan people is based upon, in a sense, various calendars that they used in Africa, such as this particular. This is the calendar, and this is the 12 month 20-day calendar. You see, and this is very important to understand. We also find, in a sense, this particular sign. This sign is a sign that relates to the various Olmec civilizations. This sign is a sign that's common and found on many sites in the ancient Americas. The Mayan adopted the Olmec calendar. Cohen Stone noted in reading the Maya glyphs, where they wrote, and I quote, "The first part of a calendar round is the 260-day count, often called in the literature by the Osats Maya name Tzolk'in. This is the eternally repeating cycle and consists of the number 1 through 13, permuting against a mini cycle of 20 named days. Since 13 and 20 have no common denominator, a particular day name will not occur with a particular coefficient until 260 days have passed. No one knows exactly when this extremely sacred calendar was invented, but it was certainly already ancient by the time the classic period began. There are still Highland Mayan calendar priests who can calculate the day in the 260-day count, and it's apparent that this basic way of time reckoning has never slipped a day since its inception over 3,000 years ago. Think about that. Think about that this calendar in a sense, which is used in Mesoamerica today, goes back 3,000 years. Not only does this calendar go back 3,000 years, but this calendar was also in a sense a calendar that that was made by black people like you, people like me, people like us. And this is something that we had to remember, and that this is our genius. Yes, we are a genius people. We're people in the sense that are always ready. That's why when people say, if the European died tomorrow, black people wouldn't know what to do. That's a lie. You see? We have thousands of years of knowledge, and all we have to do in a sense is draw on this knowledge whenever we have to, in a sense, do things to make our lives better. You see? The sacred calendar has 13 months or 20 days. 13 times 20 equals what? 260. John Montgomery, How to Read Mayan Hieroglyphs, wrote that the Tzolk'in, a 260-day sacred almanac, was widely used in ancient times for divinatory purposes. Guatemala, Maya, and other cultures in Mexico still use it as a means of day keeping. The origins of the 260-day calendar are debatable, although a number of scholars have suggested it corresponds to the 9-month period of human gestation. There's some people it's a group of people. They follow a lot of my research, and they use the Olmec calendar today to do divination. And I don't know. I'm not too much into divination. I just in a sense, look at what's there, and I try to discuss it from a historical perspective. But these brothers and sisters have used my decipherment of Olmec to be able to do archaeological readings. Yoshimad, the genius, he often can give you horoscopes based upon that stuff. So I mean, some people are really into that. I didn't look at it for those purposes. You see, the Mojarra Stela, and that's the Stela. If you look on the left-hand side, this Stela on the left-hand side is called the Mojarra Stela, and this is this Stela has this depiction of one of the Mayan kings, and we also, in a sense, see the inscription. The Maya Stela gives us keen insight into the Olmec calendrics. There is a frontal inscription written in hieroglyphs and a side inscription written in syllabic Olmec signs. You see, this is the frontal script, and then there's also the syllabic. There's also syllabic signs on the side. Yes, on the side of this monument. There's additional inscriptions, and so we have the hieroglyphics on the front, and then we have the syllabic signs on the side. I took the time to decipher the monument and found it tells the story of an Olmec king named Yope, not just a date. In the inscription, we are told that King Yope was born around 143 AD. It should be noted that dots and bars can represent both numbers and lexical items. Here again is the Mojarra Stela. On the left-hand side, you can see how it looks, and you can see, in a sense, on the right-hand side, you can see a copy of the Stela, but you can see that you had to really be up close to be able, in a sense, to read the information on this Stela. That's why I'm happy that they made a printed copy of the text so that I can see what it's talking about. You see, again, this is the script, and I deciphered the frontal period, but also I like the what's on the side, and I've deciphered the side inscription too. You see, the Mojarra Stela is a Mesoamerican carved stela dating from 143 of the Christian era. It is the stela dedicated to King Yope. It was discovered in 1986, pulled from the Acula River near La Mojarra, Veracruz, Mexico, not far from Tres Zapates. The archaeological site, the 4.5 foot wide Stela by 6.5 foot high, weighs 4 tons. It's made of limestone. Yes, yes. And it has 535 glyphs on this stela in the Isthmian, or what they call Epi-Olmec script. It says Olmec writing to me, but they call it Epi-Olmec. I have numbered the columns of the stela, as you can see in this particular picture. I numbered them across, going from right to left and left to right. So you can see how I numbered them to be able to read the inscriptions when I decipher them. The Olmec dates are made up usually of the bar and dot pattern without the Essene. Even without the Essene, researchers have determined reliable dates for the Olmec artifacts. This suggests that using the Tzolk'in calendar, you can determine a day without employing an Essene. This is why I maintain that the Lupi sign is a lexical item rather than the Essene. And in this row one, we see Itakio, Ipokisi, Itakio, and that reads, "Thou sacred rising as a vital spirit exists now. Thou the pure protector, or you are pure Kisei." Line 2, we see Badayo, the great Dayo. Da was like a sign of nobility, like saying sir or monarch, or it was to you put this before the name of a dignitary. Say Po Dayo, the victorious and pure Dayo. Po 2, pure birth was on 585335. And 585335 is May 21st, 143 AD. He was the Segyo, E snake. Segyo is a surname given to an infant whose people ascribe the intervention of a divinity. So this was by them calling this king, a Segyo, this was saying that this was a bad Mamajama, and they felt in a sense that at his birth that he had certain mystical or magical powers that he, in a sense, could do. And so, the people really looked up to this king because they saw this king as someone who was, in a sense, a unique person, a person who, in a sense, had a great spiritual heritage, and then, in a sense, he was, I guess, they saw him kind of as a prophet, And again, we can see this, and this is and we can see on this column. And now you can see this on the if you look at this picture, you can see on the far right hand side corner, we can see these wavy lines, and we can see, in a sense, the date names like this. And what these lines say is, "Thou sacred rising exists. Thou the pure protector, the great Dayo, the victorious and pure Dayo, pure birth, was on May 21st, 143 AD. Thou art the Segyo, thou art the snake." You see, very important. So that's what we see when we see these signs, And this is the sign that we see at the top. Look at that figure on the right hand side, and we can see the top list symbols, the top hieroglyphics, and this is what these top hieroglyphics read. Again, "Thou sacred rising exists now. Thou art the pure protector, the great Dayo. The victorious and pure Da, Yo's pure birth, was on May 21st, 143 AD. Thou art the Segyo, thou snake." Again, in a sense, this they felt that they felt that Yo, King Yo, they felt that the great Dayo, that he was a very important person. Again, we can read in a sense later, "Nipo Kyu Gyo Potu, Yopobo Poto, Monkey Tu, Yo Papo Ta, Seyula, Tukutu, Yope." And that reads, "The pure house, the big hemisphere sepulchre, burial pyramid is a talisman. Pure King Yo is pure moral grandeur and a pure propriety. The Monkey King, Yo, has much purity. The devotee is pure, to realize and hold upright a good situation. The king and governors obey. This is Yope." Yes, yes. This was what we read on the monument for King Yope. Again, this is a very important monument. It's written in Olmec, you see. And let's go over that again. Potu, Pepe Ingbe, Yope, Papapo, Gibe Papa, Yope, Pepope, Dayoda, La Matu, Yope. The pure king, he has prodigious purity and virtue. The pure Yo, very much purity and virtue is due. Yope. Very much admiration for Dayo at this moment, the king. Hold upright the spiritual tranquility for the ruler and cult leader, Yope. Again, in the sense is that's what makes the bilingual text that I discovered years ago so important, because it's bilingual text that allows us to get into these stellas. You know, left us records. They left us records in stone. Our ancestors wanted us to know what they did. They wanted to know their past successes. They wanted us to know their unique culture and history. And this is what they left us. You have to learn how to read these ancient languages. You have to learn this, because when you can read these ancient languages yourself, then you don't have to wait for the European to tell you what's going on. You'll be able, in a sense, to see the original documents and be able to record what your ancestors are telling you, what they're trying to explain to you, what they want you to know. Nyama is a cult power, a special energy of the supernatural origin. We have to understand Nyama if we want to understand Yope, if we want to understand what made this ruler unique. Nyama is considered the source of power behind every task. Among the Mande, the pinnacle of potency is the knowledge of sorcery. Sorcery is important among the Mande, says McNaughton, because, and I quote, for the vast majority of Mande, sorcery provides a means for analyzing situations and a tool for responding to them. And these people can be quite open about their use of it. When you understand Nyama as it exists today among the Mande people, then you can see it's very important. Then you can understand why Nyama was important for the Olmecs. Yes, yes. P.R. Noddens and the Mande Blacksmiths, Knowledge, Power, and Art in West Africa. This book gives us keen insight into Mande traditional beliefs and helps explain much of the Olmec social concepts and also the religion. Let's see. This is the wavy line dot, and let's look at this. This is very important, you see. And I did an earlier translation, several translations, but instead of translating the middle sign as ipokise, I believe it should be read ipokilisi. And I failed to include the transliteration of the dot sign li. The lexical item li is represented by the black dot inside the middle symbol. If you want to look at that. Since li is in the middle of the figure, I'm reading the sign as C instead of say. Thus we have Kalisi. Reading the signs following Hipokalisi, we have thou pure secret speech. Kalisi means secret speech. Kalisi is a potent formula of human sounds, rich with supernatural energy. It is Kalisi that provides an object with Nyama. This is what I think. This is what I've always thought about. This whole thing about Yope. The fact, in the sense that this guy has such power, such mystical power, such, in a sense, power that he was really considered to be a significant person among his people. In row 2, we read Nipo, Kugyo, Potu, Yopo, Popota, monkey 2, Yopapota, Se Lula, Tukutu, Yope. And this says, the pure house, the big hemisphere sepulchre, burial pyramid is the talisman. Pure King Yo is pure moral grandeur and a pure propriety. The monkey king Yope has much purity. The devotee is pure to realize and hold upright a good situation, you see. The monkey figure probably has an important meaning in the inscription and may represent an emblem. Among the Mande Sulau monkeys indicates the initiate's awareness of his own animality. This suggests that Sulalu Sulalu in row 2 should read a king aware of his animality. It appears that the first day relates to the birth of Yope, who is recognized as Segyo. The inscription makes it clear that Yope was recognized as a god and the leader of his people's religion. This is very interesting. To understand the designation of Yope as Seyo, is explained by Mande traditional culture. As I said earlier, you see, you have to understand that Yope was considered a powerful religious specialist in addition to being a king. And this is, I think, this is what makes Yope a very interesting ruler, is because he's not only in a sense given credit as a king, as a ruler of this particular community, but also in the sense that he was also identified as a religious specialist. And this is not very important because we take it for granted that every Mayan king had, in a sense, this special power, this power, in a sense, to be able to be a representative of the gods. But we see that in relationship to this particular king, Yope, he is specifically identified as someone who has the ability to communicate with the gods. As Sigyo, Yope appears to have had great knowledge of sorcery or nyama. Say, foot, or foundation represents the beginning of knowledge. The say symbolizing beginning and advance of success and power. The say represents man's progression in pursuit of knowledge. Since say means foundation and yo is spiritual knowledge, say gyo would equal foundation of spiritual knowledge. So Yope was represented as say gyo, a foundation of spiritual knowledge. The left column shows a snake and the possible long count date of 8/5/1697 or 156 AD, which would be June 23rd, 156 AD. This suggests that Yope was recognized as Satigi, master of the snakes, around by June 23rd, 156 AD. You can take a look at that, at those figures. As you can see, we see the snake up at the top, the coiled snake. Then we see 8, the 3 dots in the bar. Then we see the bar, 5. Then we see the 1 dot and the 3 bars, 16. Then we see the 4 dots and the bar, which is 9. And then we see the 2 dots and the bar, which is 7, or the date of June 23rd, 156 AD. This suggests that Yope was recognized as Satigi, masters of snakes, on this particular date. Yope was a Satigi, or master of the snakes. And this is what we can see in terms of this sign. In relation to the serpent snake in the inscription, it does not relate to a date. The sow snake's body forms the Sa sign. The snake rests on the Gyo sign. Thusly, we can read this as Sagyo. This indicates that he had the Sagyo, that he was the foundation of spiritual knowledge. As a result, I believe that Yope was Satigi, the master of the snakes. Among the Mande, the snake is used in divination. The snake diviner studies the reptile's movements, which he mystically interprets to answer clients' questions. The Satigi communicated with snakes for numerous purposes, e.g., to foresee the future events and obtain secret knowledge, because he shares a supernatural bond with the serpent. The Satigi is recognized as one of the most powerful diviners of the Mande people, who has the ability to perform supernatural acts. And so we see that Yepo was, in a sense, the Satigi, the master of the snakes. This is the side. This is the inscription on the side, and this side inscription on the Mojarra Stela. It was discovered in July 1997. The new side text column on the Mojarra Stela provides interesting information about the Olmec people. This column of Epi-Olmec text was published by J. Justison and Terence Kaufman in an article called A Newly Discovered Column in the Hieroglyphic Text on the Mojarra Stela. And this is a very interesting text. They claim that the text reads as follows: Behold, there he was for 12 years, a title, and then a garment got folded. He uttered, the stones that the set in order with us symbols of kingly ones. What I chopped has been planted and harvested well. The shapeshifter appeared divinely in his body. This is what Justison and Kaufman read as what these inscriptions. They claim that this is what those inscriptions say. I disagree. You see, these new inscriptions come from a badly weathered and eroded hieroglyphic column. They were found in November 1995, and again, here's a picture of Yope. The persons caught in Mojarra Tushla statuette are not the same, because the Tushla statuette is about Tutu, you see. But I'm going to, read what this side inscription says. Poito, thou art a righteous king. Iposubasu, thou art pure. Offer libations to this unique pot. Segyo, potupo, po da tupo. The pure grand refugee is smooth. I don't know what that letter number 5 is. Pokudu, pure cleansing is refuge. Pogve tutu, the sanctified king and his refuge. Bonitufa, the pure principle of life is in possession of this abode. Basu, the Ba is vigorous. Pegu, prodigious tomb. Yes, this is a prodigious tomb. Number 10, I don't know what that means. 11, Yope, King Yope. Number 12, Poitu, pure is thine refuge. 13, Senigyo, Teto, Indi. Yope's principle of life to realize no vice, in this good abode on terrain near the water. Pegu, the prodigious tomb. Nitula, the soul of the king sleeps. Or it could read Nigula, the soul in the spiritual tranquility is established. 16, Yobe, the vital spirit has been put to bed. Po, purity. Yongabe B. The soul is pure righteousness of the great ancestor. Yope, Prosu, the pure libation. Lugyu, hold upright this hemispheric tomb. Betagyu, exists in a unique state of spiritual tranquility. Poitu, pure is thine refuge, Yope. Pure is thine refuge, Yope. Potu, the righteous king. Poikutu, thou head, the government is pure. Takiku gyo, takie ba, gaba da. Taki, the sacred rising of a star, is Yope. Kugyo is the summit of righteousness. Takie ba, this man is great. Gabada, he glows at this moment. Yope is a rising star. He is the summit of righteousness. This man Yope is great. He glows like a shining star at this moment. Da, at this moment, the pure image of the race and mystic order is full of propriety. Yope, po, yota, fa, ta, Yope. The pure image of the race and mystic order full of propriety is Yope. In summary, Justin and Kaufman's translation of the Mojarra Stela text using Mishi Zakin fails to convey the richness of the Olmec prose and the deep love and respect that the Olmec gave their kings. Whereas these scholars translate this new inscription as follows. This is what they said. All of those letters on this particular inscription, this is what they say it reads. Behold, there he was for 12 years, a title, and then a garment was folded. He uttered, the stones that he set in order were thus symbols, kingly ones. What I chopped has been planted and harvested well. A shapeshifters appeared divinely in his body. This is what they believe this says. It didn't say this. This decipherment by Justison and Kaufman does not prove that the Mojarra Stela is written in Zakian. The authors translated the inscription admit they still can't read the entire document using pre-Proto-Sokian to interpret the alleged Epi-Olmec logograms. First of all, you cannot decipher a language using pre-Proto or Proto anything, because Proto is just a made-up language and stuff. Justin and Kaufman believes that this long inscription is about a folded garment and a dignitary chopping crops while a shapeshifter appeared in his body, as I told you earlier. My decipherment, on the other hand, based on the authentic language of the Olmec, indicates that the Mojarra Stela was a funerary text, acknowledging the potent mystical power of the Olmec king Yope. Yes, yes. This inscription is about Yope. It's about his strong mystical power. It's about his abilities, in a sense, to control the mysteries of life, to be able, in a sense, to use various different words and different symbols to be able, in a sense, to explain to people about their culture. It is safe to say that Yope had immense supernatural power, thus his nickname, Segyo. He was also a Satigi, and thus could see into the future and obtain supernatural knowledge via his snake totem. As a result of this, I do not believe that Segyo, snake, is a day sign. These signs probably related to the immense supernatural power of Yope. Yes, yes, yes. You know, I've been able, in a sense, over the years, I've been able to decipher all the names of those heads. Yes, yes, yes. I've been able, in a sense, because of the fact that I started looking at the various signs and insignia, I can now tell you the names of all of the heads. Yes, all of the heads from Leventa, San Lorenzo. You see, we have these names. I'll discuss them in a future presentation. The Mongoloid Maya built their pyramids over pyramids originally built by the Xi, or Olmec people of Mexico. Here you can see some of the examples of the various Mayan pyramids, and that when they started to really clean up these pyramids at Shaktun in Guatemala, Tikal in Guatemala, and Cerros and Belize, they began to see all these Olmec symbols, you see. But they thought these earliest pyramids and Belize were built by the Maya. No, they were not built by the Maya. They were built by the Olmec people, the Epi-Olmec people. Yes, yes, yes. The Olmec people were great scientists, engineers, and architects. Here's some reliefs that carved from large stone slabs. These are 4.6 feet in diameter, and they weigh more than 15,000 pounds apiece. In the center of the headdress is an Olmec cross, and you can see the glyph, and you see the jaguar. The Olmecs have left us beautiful monuments. If you want to learn more about the Olmecs and their great civilization, I call the Olmec the Neo-Atlanteans, because I believe, in the sense, that they were remnants of the ancient Atlantis culture that flourished in the Americas. Get my book, Atlantis in Mexico. Get the hardcover edition, and you can see the beautiful cover for the hardcover edition. And you can get a hardcover edition of my book, Olmec Language and Literature. Get the hardcover editions so you can see the beautiful covers that were made for these books by Yoshimata, the genius. Again, in a sense, the Olmecs were great people. And in conclusion, the evidence presented by Mesoamerican archaeologists like Pu Dio Cole make it clear that the Olmec introduced a unique culture to Mesoamerica that was adopted by the Mesoamericans. Yes, and this unique culture was a culture that was made by the Black Olmec. Yes, the Black Olmecs. They left us a great culture. Join my Patreon to see the slides. I'm going to put these slides in my Patreon. Go to my Patreon so you can see the slides. You can download them, and you can get very much more information about this information. You can find me on Twitter at Clyde Winters, Dr. Clyde Winters 8. You can see my videos on this YouTube channel. Don't just come here every Thursday. Come here and look at all of my videos. Study my videos. Learn our history. And, of course, you can order my books on Amazon.com. Again, in a sense, many books on the history of blacks in the Americas include Atlantis in Mexico, African empires in ancient America, the final geography of Afro-Americans, and, of course, my book, the world history of the black race. Get these books and find out more. You can order my books on Amazon.com. Feel free to order my books. Thank you for joining me for this presentation. thank you for joining me again for this weekly show. Because see, it's you and you alone that I come here for, and it's you alone that I try to, in a sense, give you an understanding. Thank you, Sister Shanice, for showing up, and Jess Eve and everybody else. Again, have a good day. Thank you for joining us, and please, check us out next week when we'll be discussing more aspects of the various history of Black people, the history that makes us great. Always join us, and be sure to buy some of my books.
Atlantis in Mexico. Atlantis in Mexico. Atlantis in Mexico. Atlantis in Mexico. Time travel in a book. Go far in a book. When is the last time you spent bread on a book? Knowledge given in a book. Benefit from a book. Create a movie from a book. Create animation from a book. Atlantis in Mexico. Atlantis in Mexico. Mexico. Black history gems essays. Black history gems essays. Black history gems essays. Black history gems essays. Let's time travel in a book. Go far in a book. When is the last time you read a real book? Knowledge given in a book. Benefit from a book. Create a movie from a book. Just don't forget to give thanks to the author. Put time into the book. Thanks. Black history gems. Black history. Black history gems. Essays. Black history gems. Essays. Black history gems. Essays. Time travel in a book. Go far in a book. Can you remember from a book? Knowledge given in a book. Benefit from a book. Create a movie from a book. Just don't forget to give thanks to the author of the book. Thanks. Black Neanderthals and the white race. Origin Black Neanderthals and the white. Olmec language and literature. Olmec language and literature. Olmec language and literature. Olmec language and literature. Next, time travel in a book. Go far in a book. When is the last time you spent bread on a book? Knowledge given in a book. Benefit from a book. Create a movie from a book. Create animation from a book. Olmec language and literature. Olmec language and literature. Olmec language and literature. Olmec language and literature. See why he's the World Wide Web warrior. See why his research is undefeatable. See why he's a World Wide Web warrior. His research stands undefeatable. If you learn something new, then subscribe to me on YouTube. Don't just come for the views.
What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB or find me on X at Justice, the number 4, just us. That's JUSTICE, the number 4, JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
Parents, looking for a story that would not only captivate your little one's imagination, but would also teach valuable lessons. The Bloom, bedtime story for the young at heart, takes your child on a magical journey to ancient Kemet, where the goddess Sister Andito brings life, love, and healing. Through this enchanting tale, your child will learn the importance of nature, compassion, and positivity, all while discovering the rich history of Kemet. It's a story that inspires self-mastery and love for the world around them, making it the perfect bedtime read for little dreamers. Available on Amazon now, The Bloom not only nurtures young minds, but also supports the FBA community. Grab your copy right now and give your child the gift of adventure of learning. Order The Bloom today on Amazon. Thank you.
Free your mind, let it go to the top, drop it to the floor. Hey, energy, coming like whoa. Spring water, how did that go? Free your mind, let it go. Tap in, go, let it nigga know. Hey, let it nigga know. Let it nigga know. Energy, coming like whoa. Spring water, how did that grow? Free your mind, let it go to the top, drop it to the floor. Energy, coming like whoa. Tap in, go, let it nigga know. Hey, she told me go and put it in her heart. I told her I don't wanna break it all apart. Let me be a night light in the dark. Hey, my nigga shine bright with the art. Gemini 2 time, know it's hard. Got the stars on the line with the charts. Big dog, so I gotta leave a mark. Free your mind, cause I'm all that smart. Hey, energy, coming like whoa. Spring water, how did that grow? Free your mind, let it go to the top, drop it to the floor. Hey, energy, coming like whoa. Spring water, how did that go? Free your mind, let it go. Tap in, go, let it nigga know. Hey, let it nigga know.
The only thing that can save you is be one, be one, be one. To fight